exciting thing. And I definitely respect that. But I'm really happy to be able to be here with everyone because honestly, these are the people that we work with. This is who we're in the trenches with, making sure that we can actually play this game and do it properly. Right. The importance of admin here is really to make sure that we can play a game every week, which inevitably ends a whole creates a whole season and a good positive rugby experience for everyone that's involved. Right. I think that's our goal here. Right. We want to make sure that everyone here is having a positive rugby experience. And we can't be done without you guys, right? And girls, sorry, without everyone here. How many of you guys are for the adult teams? Raise your hand if you're with an adult team. Majority, okay. And then I know, Jack, you're with SI. Any other youth? Any other youth here as well? What team are you with?
The
Chico
program.
Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, great. So we got a nice mixture here. So for today, you're going to hear a lot about Rugby Explorer, right? Which is, what we all use to, it's basically our Bible, right? And then you'll hear both, stuff about the adult side and then stuff about the youth side as well. Sometimes maybe that'll work. Sometimes they're completely different, right? It's just kind of how we do things today. We got to make sure people hear better. So just feel free to ask questions if you do have questions about anything like that when it comes to youth or adult. But again, you're the lifeblood of rugby. And, this is everyone that's going to be working with in the trenches here this whole year to make sure this works. So thank you for being here. Okay. I got that now. I'm ready.
Yeah, just a couple of things to add. Dylan, next slide.
No, Dylan, you're going to be controlling the slides for the next thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What after? Yeah. So just a couple things for me. On the Marin Rugby Club's webpage, we have like a little submission form that people can contact us with, and I just took two that had come in recently that kind of stuck out to me. One, you can see here, read the last sentence on the one on the left. Someone is looking for camaraderie, and then this one over here on the right, someone just finished college and they're looking to make friends. And I think that is sort of the key part of behind the scenes. The admin people are the ones who really create the community for the rugby, for all the rugby players out there. And so just sort of keep that in the back of your mind when you're doing all the hard work that seems like you're just trudging through, and the rest of your club doesn't have to do it, but you guys are the ones who make it possible for everyone else. Just want to highlight that.
Did you set this up? You need to join this, submit the join.
Yeah, we'll go over that.
So that's something that each club can do for themselves.
Yeah. And we'll touch on that when we get to the recruitment part. But yeah, this is just kind of based on our website that we have. And then next slide, please, Dylan. Just one other thing to keep in the back of your mind, because I know I see a lot of there are a lot of people who've been involved in rugby for a long time, and I have as well. And I just recently came across my old SIP cards from high school that I had, and it's just yeah, I'm pretty old. Don't let the face fool you. Yeah, rugby always changes, and I think it's a great part of our game. It's a very progressive sport. The rules will sort of advance and change, and so I think sort of the old school way of we just picked up a guy at the bar to come play Saturday. You gotta get past that, rugby's professional at the highest level, but even at the more club level, it's much more organized. So let's keep that in the back of our head. The things I used to see walking up to a field when I was in high school, that stuff's just part of the past, right? So. But that's all I had for just part of the introduction, and we'll turn it over to Dylan.
Perfect. As Tyler said, my name's Dylan. I work with NCRFU, Rugby NorCal, and several other clubs, youth clubs primarily, in Northern California. And this portion of the presentation is just going to be solely on Rugby Explorer, kind of from start to finish as you progress within the app or the platform itself. We'll have a time too for just any questions that you guys may have. So if anything just pops up, obviously I'm not there in the room, but just feel free to let me know at the end. I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Dylan, could you just touch on real briefly what you're doing with USA Rugby?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we work within the membership side of USA Rugby, answering inquiries, and just carrying out tasks, answering phone calls, emails, whatever the case may be, just regarding just general membership questions. I'm not sure if Dana is in the room, but her role is a little more specified. Hey, Dana, than ours. And I work alongside another one of my colleagues, Emin, and we just basically answer any general questions that someone may have about typically Rugby Explorer or just USA Rugby in general. Perfect. So right here, listed out the process of using Rugby Explorer. This is primarily just going from day one. If you wanted to join a rugby club, or if you were looking to get yourself set up on Rugby Explorer, these would kind of be the steps to go through. And we'll go a little bit more into detail as we keep moving forward. So first step, obviously, is just to have a Rugby Explorer account. Pretty simple. I'm sure all of you have a Rugby Explorer account. This is where these steps right here.
Don't you mind, hold on. Rick, I know you asked this before, so how many of you guys have the Rugby Explorer app and everything? You guys all have it downloaded?
Just did it.
If you don't, I would suggest take a minute and download it on your phone if you haven't done so. And do that and do match day as well. It will make a lot more sense, the context behind what Dylan's going to go through. And by the way, this whole presentation, don't worry about taking notes, it's being recorded, and then we'll have it up on the website for distribution as well. In this entire presentation with the notes, we'll be able to share with you.
And you'll have a PDF to distribute as well.
And if you have questions after that, well, that's what Dylan,
Probably a proper workout.
that's what we exist.
Perfect. So one thing to note is number 5 on this list is to make sure that you're selecting USA Rugby and not Rugby Australia. There's kind of a little nuance with Rugby Explorer where they will advertise Rugby Australia. So just make sure that you're in the right location when you're signing up for your account. From there, you would find a club. If you were looking to create a club, the process to do so is very simple as well. But within this is where if you're an admin, this would be really helpful for you to go ahead, register as a coach, register as an admin, not primarily registering as a player, just because obviously this is just geared more towards admins. But these are the steps in order to find your club, register as a coach or an admin, whatever the case may be, and just proceeding from there. By the way, if you would like me to slow down, just let me know.
You're good.
Boom. So here is the dashboard, and these are really important items. I'm not sure if you guys can see my browser, but I'm circling around the club fee status, the accredited coach status, and the player status. For an admin, this is very, very important, is to make sure that all 3 of these items have a green check mark. The reason behind that is just so that you're remaining compliant within USA Rugby. And we'll go into more detail about that in a little bit. But simple things such as requesting a COI, applying for international travel, things like that. It's contingent on these 3 things and just being compliant within USA Rugby. So we'll go into each of these individually as we move forward, and just a couple more items that you can do when you're considered compliant.
Dylan,
Yes.
that was on your browser, correct? Not on the app. But you were
Correct. Yes. So a lot of the information that I'm displaying, I prefer to access Rugby Explorer through the website. It's much more user-friendly. I find that it's easier to kind of navigate. So the app, while the app is great, I personally prefer the website itself when navigating through these items.
And if I can interrupt you really quickly, the admin portal is only available on desktop, so you won't be able to access that through your phone.
One
Great
piece
point.
about the app is when we get to the point about submitting scores and rosters on the game day, that's the app becomes incredibly important. So I let that piece of context out. We'll get to that piece, but that's very important just to understand is use the app on the field.
There's 2 tools.
Yeah.
One tool is better for like the general administrative stuff, but the game day entry and roster management and like that's an app-based thing.
Okay. Continue on.
Perfect. This is more so just a step-by-step on how to register via pictures rather than actual words itself. Dana created this, so this is a very good representation of what you could send to your players if you're looking for them to sign up specifically to your club. Perfect. Like I said earlier, I touched on club compliance. These are the three main things: is one, registered and accredited coach. That means just having your safe sport, having all your coaching certifications uploaded to your Rugby Explorer account, having 8+ registered players. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then paying your club fee, which we'll go into a little bit more details as we move forward. One place other than the dashboard that you can always check to see if you are compliant is when you log into the admin portal. On the left-hand side, there will be an administration tab. You click on that, then you click on My Club, and then as you'll see up here, it says details, contacts, website, compliance. If you click on compliance, you should see all these green check marks as well. Perfect. So when you are looking to make sure that your club is compliant, one of the most important things, obviously, is making sure that your club fee is paid. In order to do this, you would log in to the admin portal. From there, like I said, we would go to My Club, Compliance, and then right next to club fee status, for example, on this image, it has an X, and you'll see the ability to enter in your credit card or debit card information and pay the fee right there. Again, with having one accredited coach, the requirements are having a safe sport, current background check, completing your rugby safety basics, and then a World Rugby Level 1 coaching certification or above.
If I can add something to that slide just really quickly, a lot
Yeah.
of times people will come back to us and they're like, "Oh, I did this in the past. Like, what's going on? Like, why am I missing this?" 90% of the time, it's because those have to be renewed yearly, except for the background checks, it's every 2 years. And then also, if your coach is like, "Hey, I have all these things, but I'm not showing up as accredited," probably because they haven't registered as a coach for their team, so that can also cause for it not to show up as.
Perfect. And then, like I said, once you are deemed compliant, these are some of the items that are pretty necessary, honestly, as a club to operate. A COI, or a certificate of insurance, very important when renting facilities and fields, hosting practices, games, whatever the case may be. A majority of clubs or just locations, I would probably say 99% of fields that you're looking at are going to require a COI of some sort. And then obviously you can request these items from the USA Rugby website. File an insurance claim if anyone gets injured. If you're a player on a team and you get injured and the club is compliant, then you can request an insurance claim. Travel permissions for the club. That is really important. I've seen it last year with a club that I worked with wanting to travel to, I believe, Calgary, Canada, to play against a school. We need to go through this process. We need to make sure the club was compliant and that everyone had their SIP number in order to be cleared to go ahead and gain permission to travel. And then also
travel, like if you go to LA for a game, you have to.
It's all international.
No. Yeah, that specifically is for international travel. And then obviously to clear a player for international play, if you wanted to send somebody somewhere else to go play or whatever the case may be, these items can be requested through the USA Rugby website.
And I just want to add, so the difference there is one is travel as a club. So like sometimes people get confused on the process for traveling as a club. So when you go to membership on the USA Rugby website and you go down to eligibility, you'll see two different links. One is for international club travel, and then one's for if you're only sending one person. Said person's going, say, for a year to play in Ireland, they're going to have to submit that form to us. We'll clear them to go to the other place. And when they want to come back, they'll have to do the same thing, but they'll have to go to the union that they're playing for at that time. So that's where you can find those forms.
I've always wanted to ask this: do you have to do that even if your current USA SIP is no longer active?
Yes, that's just a World Rugby
If you've
regulation.
ever played in the
Yeah.
US, you have to.
Yep, a lot of times, we'll get emails from said unions if you are a US player, and they'll still request, mostly just because they wanna make sure you're not sanctioned, you know, and that you're in good standing with your union.
Awesome. Here, just a little a group of images that would explain how to request a transfer from a club. This would happen if you registered. For example, this was something that we kind of saw last year within some youth clubs. We had high hopes for hosting a girls varsity team. We just didn't really get enough players and it just didn't seem realistic. So rather than the players who registered not play rugby at all, we decided to push them towards requesting a transfer to a different club. That's just one example that comes to the forefront of my mind in terms of why this would be valuable. This could be valuable for a player or from an admin perspective, like I just mentioned. Obviously, we want to see players get on the field and have a good season. And if that's just not something that's going to realistically happen within your club or whatever the case may be, it's always good to note that sometimes players will want to request a refund, but in reality, they want to keep playing. So this would be the right choice in terms of that for specific examples such as.
And Dylan, real quick on that. So for youth, especially for SI, right? They're all those players are going to have to transfer to SFGG once the season's over, right? And so they'll have to go through the registration process once, and then they'll have to go through the registration process again to initiate a transfer to SFGG once the school is done, right?
And if you can go back to the previous slide, then.
When you're looking at that, there's the ability to do it for other people, like Jack do it for everyone, like the entire SIs and stars.
People have to request a transfer themselves.
Yep.
And something else that I want to point out about the transfer, another reason you want to transfer is, say, if you live in California, you want to move to Colorado, can't stay with your team anymore, that's what you have to do. Your transfer has to be approved by your current club and the parent organization. So that's why it's important as a club admin to know how to do this, because if you don't approve them, your player isn't going to be able to go play anywhere else. So Dylan will probably explain where to find that a little bit later. But the other thing I want to kind of point on this is that if you say paid $145 to play your club in California, and now you're transferring to play in Colorado, you're not going to have to pay USA Rugby dues again. They're transferring. So that means that the $45 that you paid towards USA Rugby isn't going to have to be charged again. So that's just something that I want to point out so that you know that a lot of times people are like, well, I already paid, they want a refund. It's like, you don't get a refund because that money was transferred. Yeah, you'll still have to pay any union dues or any differences or fees that are set up by your club specifically, but whenever you go in to pay, you'll see a little breakdown of how the fees are set up. So in any case, just so that people are sure that they know that USA Rugby dues are only paid once for no matter how many roles or registrations.
In this case, if they're transferring just within Rugby North, the Rugby North dues would also be.
Correct. They would also transfer over unless the club has any different dues set up through Rugby Players. They wouldn't necessarily have to.
Yeah, so Jack, so the NorCal fees and USA Rugby fees will be fine when they transfer over to SFGG, because any SFGG fees, those will have to be paid. Yeah.
Great. And here is kind of what Dana was speaking on in terms of the club itself has to approve the clearance, and then whatever the CIRO or the GU is that you're looking to transfer to, they would also have to go ahead and approve that clearance. Again, from the admin portal, when you're logged in, you have club admin access to whatever club this may be regarding. On the left-hand side, you'll see a members tab. And then under members, you will see registration clearances. And then from there, you'll be able to see this is exactly what it would look like if you went ahead and checked that out and you had several players looking to transfer. You could see who was declined, who's still actively pending, who has been approved, and just the reason to which someone was either approved or denied based on clearance.
Dylan, can I just add something real quick particularly for the adult club folks here? If somebody is transferring from your club, they need to ask you to approve their transfer, and the litmus really is whether they owe you money or they have a discipline thing. and then you need to approve that. For the parent organization, it's NCRFU. I don't approve anything that a club hasn't approved yet. So if somebody's stuck in your club, it's because you didn't do it. And so when I went in to give clearance to them, it hasn't happened yet. So it's important that if you know that there's somebody that's transferring out of your club to somewhere else, that you all get after that.
This would be what, like, on the opposite side of the spectrum, if you were not looking to request a clearance, but rather you were just looking to be done playing, you requesting a refund. This would be done not from the admin portal, but rather right where you sign in, right here under registration history, you just request a refund right from there. Dana, any key points to note on that? I know that you're a little bit more experienced in terms of approving refunds and things of that nature.
Yeah, so refunds are broken down the same way that any payment is. So each parent or organization is in charge of approving or denying their part of the fee. It's really important that you know a reason to why, because a lot of times you'll get denied if you don't tell them why, and that's important to tell your players as well. As USA Rugby, our policy for the 45 or whatever piece of fee that you paid to us, our refund policy is it has to be within 7 days of purchase, and you have
7 days of
the day that you paid. So say I registered Monday, I have to request it by Sunday.
Could you share that policy with us?
Yeah, it's under, if you go to the USA Rugby website and you scroll all the way to the bottom.
Could you send that to me, please?
Yeah, for sure. It says policies and it has all of our policies on it. And then the other thing is, it doesn't matter if it was those 7 days, if you stepped on the field, whether it was for practice or a game, you effectively used our insurance, and therefore you're no longer eligible for a refund. That's just our USA Rugby policy.
Let me second that emotion. That's basically our approach as well, is that if you go to practice, you've used the insurance. And so we're not inclined to grant many refunds. And I have asked on several occasions to get rid of this function, because it gives people the impression that, oh yeah, I can get a refund. And that's really not on. But we need to be more clear about what USA Rugby's policy is about the 7 days, and we need to adopt a policy like that for NCRFU, I imagine for Rugby Norcal as well.
Yeah, well, that's up to the discretion of each organization, because that's kind of the USA Rugby run. So like each person decided that's what you guys want to take on. That's totally acceptable. And then
right, but that's who's here. So
correct. Yes, you are correct. But I just mean, like, if somebody were to request a refund and the club themselves decide to grant the refund, that's obviously up to them. But everything else can be, as you say, probably not granted. But people might get a little part of their payment back depending on the organization.
That's great. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to get into a little bit of payment settings within Rugby Explorer. And obviously, this would be done by someone who has club admin access. This is a great opportunity to use Rugby Explorer kind of to its fullest potential. Some clubs will collect payments through outside means. Rugby Explorer makes it possible for you to collect payments based on age or whatever roles they might be going for. If someone wants to register as an admin, you could hypothetically change the admin fee within the club to $0. If someone wants to register as a player, and this is going to be the main source of you collecting the money, you could charge them $200, you could charge them $100. It's very customizable and you can change it to whatever you want. One thing you can't do is you cannot change the CIRO, Council, and USA Rugby fees. Those are automatic based on wherever you're playing. So if you're a Rugby NorCal club, the Rugby NorCal fees are not, you cannot change those. If you are an NCRFU clubs, then the geographical union charge cannot be changed. So from here, let me go back one slide.
Do you
Let me
register
find
as
where we
a
were.
player, or if you register as an admin, you
in
can
order
still
to
play?
get admin rights, you should be registered as an admin. Otherwise, you'll get an email from RX telling you that, because any admin or person who's
Yeah, if I'm a player too, do I
You'll
then
still
have to
have to
do a
register.
second admin as a?
Yes,
for
you shouldn't
registration
have to
system?
pay anything
Okay.
because the fee for USA Rugby is the same, so you should be able to do it.
You just said a Rugby Explorer admin should
Yeah,
register with USA Rugby as
As an
an admin.
And then
Do
do
you
it.
mean must in order to use?
Must.
Okay,
yes.
must is
And
different from should, so let me be
they
clear.
should, a lot of people, because of the way that we set up the system at the beginning last year, have gotten admin access anyways. They should still be getting emails because if you're acting in any sort of admin capacity and helping the club, you should be going through a background check, safety basics and safe sports as well. So that's really important that you make sure anybody who has admin access to the club is also going through that.
Perfect.
With no combination of if you have access to show them information. That's the whole point.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that anybody who has access to that kind of information and you're still following all the safe protocols as well, ensure it's safe.
So now, can somebody who's registered as a coach be assigned admin privileges?
Yeah, you'll still have to register as an admin, it's just for the system, but you're not gonna have to pay anything else. So like I said, if you register for one, the admin is only $45. If you've already paid your fees for coach or as a player, you're not gonna be charged anything.
So you're set up as a profile and then it's which access.
Which access you, yeah.
Please excuse me, but for NCRFU clubs, for USA fees are $40, not $45, because the club council, when the $10 dues increase was imposed, the club council decided to pay half of that in this first year. So really details you don't really need to know, but just want you to know that the council stepped up and is paying $5 of the increase that we will in next year. That's why if you all were to see $40 for USA Rugby fees as opposed to $45.
And kind of to piggyback off of that, when I registered as an admin, it charged me $5. I'm guessing that's probably
That is,
okay.
yeah.
Perfect.
Because it was picked up $5 for players.
One other really important thing to note that I think is really, really helpful within the payment settings is the idea of changing the duration for how long someone's going to be registering for. If you want to bring someone on and they're only looking to play for a weekend, say they're in town, they want to register to the club, you can change the duration from season, monthly to weekly, depending on the CIRO or the GU's discretion. But that is just another good way to try and, squeeze some more people in if need be. And then obviously, if you want someone to register for the season, be sure to choose season registration rather than weekly. I accidentally skipped over this slide, but this is also very important as well. This is probably one of the more important things is just getting paid, connecting your Stripe account to your Rugby Explorer admin profile or the club itself. So right here, these are just step-by-step instructions on how to connect a Stripe account and a card to your Rugby Explorer club. It's very, very self-explanatory, but it's a necessity in terms of receiving payments. So
Dylan, when we're setting up payments in there, if we have club dues, is there a way to set those club dues on a payment plan within the Rugby Explorer system?
Yeah, exactly. So right here, this is just a good visual. So from here, say we're on the Rugby Explorer website, we would select role, and I'm assuming the role would be player. You want to charge players dues. You would select player. So say we want to charge U8 players $150. We would select ages. It's either 5 or 6 to 7. And then we would type in $150 and then click this little addition button right here. And from there, that would automatically add your club fees on top of the council, CIRO, and USA Rugby fees.
But if we do it there, it has to be paid when they register as a player. So we can't put them on a payment plan through the Rugby.
There's no payment plans through Rugby Explorer.
Unless you
There's
just
no
made the
payment
amount
plans.
less, and they can do it multiple times.
Hey, Dylan, what the question is whether you can set up payment plans like how you can in other registration systems in Rugby Explorer.
No, there isn't, but there's one thing that you can do. I don't don't know if you added this to the presentation or not, but as an admin, you have the ability to choose how you want players to register. So either player paying or admin is paying for all the registrations. So you can do is toggle that thing back and forth. So if you have a person that say, has made an arrangement with you, say it's going to you, they're paying 3 times, you can have the club like front the cost. So toggle it's just for that person registers, and then toggle it back so that you just get the cost as they pay you.
There's also a discount function. We can send card discounts. And so what you would do is you can send a card discount, and then you'd have to just negotiate with that individual and have them pay at the rate through check or through cash out.
So clarify that, if you send the discount, it's going to be charged to your entity.
I might just, any clubs that in the NCRFU that want to collect their dues through RX should probably work very directly with you and or Dana to get that set up.
So when you set up your club, I mean, I think probably most of you have some experience, but maybe none. When you set up your club, you are prompted to, in order to receive registrations, to set up your entity card, complete the onboarding process, right? Whether you're receiving money or not. Dylan spoke a little bit over that. I don't know if you can go back to that slide, just so I can kind of point it out. I think it was the previous one. Yeah. So basically, when you go in, you go to when you go in and you select administration, there's one that says my entity, I believe, and that's going to guide you through the process of setting up your card. So you have to set up an entity card, which is the card where you would pay anything that goes through your club card. And then there's another one where you set up your Stripe account. So it's going to send you to the screen that you see down here. You're going to create a Stripe account for your club, and that's where you would receive all the money that would come from any sort of registration. After that, you'll get a little, that screen up there will show another button that says complete onboarding, and once you do that, that's how it's going to go.
So you're saying that to register as a club, you have to
you
need
need to
to
pay
get a
your club
Stripe
fee.
account.
I mean, the Stripe account is just something they need to set up for your club.
For your club, if you're going to collect dues for your club through RX.
Correct,
But
and
if
some,
you're not collecting dues through RX, do you need to set up a Stripe account?
you don't have to set up a Stripe account. But for future reference, as we're kind of going into the era of starting to use Rugby events, which is something that we'll have another chat about maybe at a later time, you will in fact need to set up a Stripe.
Actually,
They just set it up.
Yeah, because what we're trying to do is for events, everything and all the money's kind of going to go through one place so that everybody knows where the money's going to be easily managed.
I would highlight this based on the group we work with. I would highly encourage you to say it's a must. Have a Stripe account set up and have this, don't have your HT set up, your bank account set up, and then doing it with someone's personal account, get out of that ASAP. Most people, that's an old issue that you come across. And the reason being is that just once you have it, it allows you to open up this toolbox, if you would, that would make your life a hell of a lot. There's more toggling and sort of troubleshooting and duct taping you have to do around because of things you don't have set up, it'll make things easier down, it'll make things harder down the line as you try to sort of get your finances in order and understand who's registered, who's not, where's the money coming from, what do I owe, who owes what. Those become headaches again. So, our advice, get it set up, get the Stripe account set up, and just get it done, even if you don't use it, have it ready. And if you are using another outside registration system, just make sure that they don't talk to each other. Rugby Explorer is not going to talk to a team that goes sports. Right? And Rugby Explorer's capabilities are getting, and I want to speak for, they're getting a lot better. They're going to keep getting better. And as they do, eventually Rugby Explorer will be listed at only 500. But if you have one, make sure that your process is set up so it's not like.
For the Stripe account, does it matter what type of entity you have, whether it's an LLC or a nonprofit?
I don't believe so. I think as long as you got it, you're fine. If you're LLC or nonprofit, it's got to have a bank account attached to it.
Just be aware of the names on your bank account and what you're connecting to your Stripe and what it's in RX as it does to access that.
Perfect. So I think we're going to go into something that relates hand in hand with Stripe. Obviously, Stripe is collecting payments. Setting up your entity card is very, very important. I've seen this be a game changer for a lot of different clubs, especially the ones that do not collect their fees on Rugby Explorer. For example, if you're having players register on Sports Engine, if potentially they are Venmoing you, whatever the case may be. We have decided for some clubs to work the fees into our Sports Engine charges. From there, we set up our entity card, which is just a card that we have on file right here, which you'll see under payment settings under entity card, and you add the card. Why that is so important is because you're already charging them the fees if you were to collect the money from an outside source. And the last thing we want to do is to have people pay for something twice if this is the route that you are going. It seems to be super effective when it comes to youth, just because parents are going to have to pay for a Sports Engine fee. We don't want them to have to pull out their card again to pay for a Rugby Explorer fee. And as we keep going forward, you'll see all the different types of payment settings, or the way that the club pays the invoice. We can use the entity card to automatically back the payments, so parents don't have to pay anything. The club will pay it. And then we can set up automatic invoicing, where the card will just be charged X amount of dollars at the beginning or end of every month. And that's how the players will be able to register. Perfect. So right here, like I said before, you go down the left-hand side, go to payment settings. And then from there, you would click entity card, add the card, and then just save it to your club. And then from there, like I said, this is where this gets really important, is you can choose how you choose your payment methods. So for example, if you wanted to charge club fees within Rugby Explorer, it would probably be a really good idea for you to choose player pays, just so that the parents, or if you're part of NCRFU or a senior club, you would go in and you would pay the fee yourself. An auto payment was what I was describing earlier, where the registrations will be paid by this entity saved card. It reduces a lot of headaches. It limits the amount of time that someone has to chase you down to make sure that all your invoices are paid. I would highly recommend auto payment, especially for the youth clubs. If you guys are collecting money from an outside source, is to put an entity card in and then choose auto payment, and somehow figure out a cost breakdown and bake those Rugby Explorer fees into wherever you're collecting the money. I think that is the best method to go about it if you are collecting the money from an outside source. And then again, in order to do this, you would go down into your admin profile, or the admin portal. You would go to payment settings, registration settings, and then change that at the top. And you'll be able to see also what payment method you currently are using in the top left corner. As you'll see, if you guys can see my browser, it's right there. It says player pays. That's how you'll know. Perfect. Here we get into a little bit of details regarding accreditation and being a coach. We went through some of these requirements. In order to be considered an accredited coach, you have to register under the coaching role, have your safe sport completed, get your background check done, complete your rugby safety basics, and then also complete a current rugby coaching accreditation. Within these are the steps. You can find more information regarding this at usarugby.coaching, and you can also see a list of coaching courses that are coming up. Obviously, there are some today as well at St. Mary's. So these would be the purpose of obtaining these coaching accreditations, just to make sure that your club is compliant, and then also obviously learning a little bit more. From here, this is kind of what we talked about before, where you will need to register under an admin or volunteer role for the current season. The reason that this is the case, and I know that it applies directly with youth, is that there is a form of background check and just confirming that you are who you say you are when you're handling a lot of information regarding youth players. Once you register as a admin, the process should be that the club admin who is in charge at the moment will be able to give you club admin access or team admin access, whatever the case may be.
Hey, Dylan, one thing regarding this club admin, especially with the admin and the California law for clubs is California AB 506, making sure the club is AB 506. AB 506 is a mandated reporter training, which is another piece of information that is a requirement that a lot of clubs are already doing, but it is a requirement now for any potential abuse for kids. And that certification has to be done by any entity that works with kids. So every club's got to do it. And you have to have a mandated report. Now again, another set of trainings that you have to do and compliance pieces that you have to have in place is California state law. I believe it was last year, was that right, Dylan?
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah.
And then full compliance,
Right, so from all the NorCal people here, so our training that is run through Rugby Explorer covers everything on mandated reporting, especially our safe sports stuff. The only thing it doesn't do is you don't get fingerprint live scans. And you have to get fingerprint live scans by the state of California and the rule and the law. And so you will have to get all your coaches and admin fingerprint live scan. Even if you're already at a school that has fingerprint live scan you, doesn't matter. You still have to get live scan through our actual number that is given to us. And there's no way I can get around that.
So this is not, they're not messing around. I mean, they're not messing around with that, but it's California state law now, and they're fully behind it. The only thing I would say is, like, does the RNC rule umbrella cover the clubs? And not each individual club has to be.
NorCal decided to include that as a service to our clubs. We are managing that entire process.
So that is huge. That's a massive.
So NorCal taking care of the compliance piece, but that's massive. Yeah, so NorCal has their own live scan number, and so that's how the clubs are being covered, all in the NorCal number.
So how do I know as a club admin, how does Rugby NorCal know as a state board, who among the people must take it and have already taken it?
We are running a monthly report for folks on the field of coaches that are registered and admin that are registered.
They're registering as a coach.
Yeah. Because all coaches and all admin must be registered, right? And then I am I don't know what to call it, but I'm the guy that has access to the Department of Justice. And so I have my own report that I receive from them. And I basically, just make sure that everyone's on there, and anyone that's not, we reach it.
So someone gets flagged, you're getting that notification.
Yeah, so the thing is the clubs are also going to get notified of any flaggings due to the background check that's in USA Rugby's, right? So that covers it, really. So the club should also know if anyone in the organization is not allowed to be coaching. But I'm also getting the same report from the Department of Justice, and I'm the one that has to, confirm that everyone's fingerprinted. So this is Rugby NorCal. This is not NCRFU. So don't you, all your adults.
You still have to go through that.
True. I still don't know how you pass it off.
Change my finger.
There you go. Any questions on AB 506, just email me. It's pretty extensive. I understand. So we're here to help.
Sorry to derail you, Dylan.
Yep. No worries. And again, once someone is registered to your club as an admin, the steps that you would need to take to grant them either club or team admin permissions is to go down to administration from the admin portal, go to user management, type their name in right in these search bars right here. You can see that Dana used herself. You would click on the profile, then you would click grant club admin, and you would just hit OK. And from there, they would have club admin access. So they would be able to see this admin portal. Club admin access, you get a lot more, I don't want to say responsibilities, but you get access to the admin portal. You have access to everything that I'm showing you on the screen right here. A team admin would be someone that's very, very important to the Rugby Matchday app and the Matchday app only. If you have team admin access and you go onto the match day app, you will be able to see the roster. You'll be able to score. You'll be able to put in penalties, whatever the case may be. If you only have club admin access, you will not have visibility into that information. Perfect. Here again, it's just the steps listed out to grant someone team admin access. I'll let Nate and Rick and Hamed speak to the processes that they're looking for. But I know that we are looking to try and get someone devoted to this role in terms of team admin, just so they can do live scoring while the game is going on. I know that last year was a little bit more, it was newer to a lot of people, but really the key benefit of this is to score the game live while it's happening and be able to put in cards, penalties, substitutions, all that stuff as the game is going on. And this would be where your team admin will come into play. This is the role that they will provide. From here, this is we're starting to get into the actual playing of the game. We're getting close to the match day app. But first, before you do that, you will notice that within your competitions, you will see squad management. And then you will also see specific teams. So for a lot of the senior clubs, this may not apply because you only have one team per men's side and women's side. I see this a lot more when it comes to youth rugby with the U8s, the U10s, the U12s, middle schools, high schools, whatever the case may be. The teams that you will have from the club admin perspective, you'll need to allocate the players that are supposed to be on that team to this quote unquote current squad. So this is just a breakdown of how you would allocate players to squad management. And then from squad management, they will directly go into the match day app. And that's when you'll be able to actively choose who's playing in the match, and so on and so forth. So if they're not listed in your squad, in your current squad, they will not be showing up on the match day app. So it's really, really important to make sure that you encapsulate everyone who could potentially be playing into the current squad that you're looking at. And then, like I said, from there, that's the list that you'll be able to choose from for the match day app.
Dylan, could you explain how a club designates a club admin and a team admin and how those get approved?
Sure.
Outside, it's kind of a NorCal thing on our side. Like if you have U10, U12, middle school, high school, right? Like each one of your team's coaches would probably be your team admin, right? And Bob, you would be the club admin, you'd be the one giving the permission, right? You have to then obviously go, you have to work with that team admin to know who needs to go to each team.
So how does Bob get approved?
Bob's already approved as a club admin.
How did he get approved?
That's the whole registration process through.
But you as the governing body have to approve each club admin.
No, well, we would just give it to them once if they're signed up as a club. They're signed up as
That's how it happened. When RX was first set up. A state level admin created me as a club admin.
That's my point, and that's the same with us. The team admins have to be approved. There's a hierarchy of union governing body admin, club admin, team admin. If you all don't have one of those, either a club or a team, you just need to follow through with the union. Basically, at this stage, it's either me or Dylan, or Dylan and Nate, or whichever.
We all good?
Yep.
Go. Here, we have two videos regarding the match day app, which would be the first would be submitting the rosters. And like I said, the allocating of players to teams goes hand in hand with submitting a roster. I guess the best way to describe that would be, say you have a pool of 50 players that could potentially play. You would want to allocate all 50 to the squad or the specific team that you're looking at. And then in terms of submitting the roster, I am not 100% sure on the exact number of players that you were able to select for either senior club or youth and high school. Dana or Nate or Rick, you guys might be able to talk to that a little bit more. But that is where you would allocate those players, and then you would submit the roster through RX Match Day, and you would choose the players that would be playing on that day.
Are these metrics now as a function to where we can add as many people as we want on a day that?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be set up by the person who set up the competition / game. So, for example, if it's a 7 and they set it up at 12, then you go to 12. It just depends on whoever's running the competition.
Okay, you'll be able to add as many.
So is it just like the number of 1 to 40 or?
For us,
Everybody has to have numbers, right?
For us, it's
I mean,
23.
you can set up, say, 99.
I have a question about, and maybe this will get answered, but some of our jerseys, like, people will kind of wear the same number because they don't fit all, like, they need a certain jersey for their body type. And so there might be like 2 different 17 size jerseys, and like somebody's going as a prop, and so they need the large one, and then somebody else is like, I don't know, there's some lost jerseys, Panini jerseys. But is there a way to, I don't know, maybe that's like not legal when you like tape something, but to have to like clarify 2 different.
So when you're submitting your roster on the match day app, it'll ask you right there.
Okay.
So you should be able to. Sometimes it depends on the competition. It will say, like, for example, if it's a 17, it'll just give you the numbers for that, so that might be an issue, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way that we've done it in the past, because it can be a little restricting, is you decide and you just keep track, like say that person's supposed to be a 7, but their jersey says 17, I'll just write it down so that you know for refs or anything like that. If somebody's live scoring, they're trying to say, oh, like number 17 got a red card, just make sure you let the ref know that they're actually number 17.
Yeah, my recollection is that the program doesn't let you put in 2 7.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, you can't have 2 7s, but well, you can when you, like if they're a backup, not if they're playing on the same time.
So, but it allows you to put in blanks though too.
Don't let us know when you're ready to start the video.
Perfect.
There's an issue though where I think based on how folks register, or get them on the match day app, it shows up as.
So you think you know.
Oh, yeah, it is good.
So is there a way for us to like remove that as an option?
I'm just going to mute myself while the ad's playing.
Say that again.
We can talk about that during the competitions part,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
it was like it's a privacy thing based on the person that registers.
Right.
And right now, there's not a way to supersede it. The USA Rugby is looking into it. Okay, what did Australia?
Yeah, because like last year there was a bunch of people.
Yes.
They register.
I mean, yeah, they're registered, they're just, it's a privacy law.
And all this stuff seems like minutia. I know like some of this stuff and nuance I can tell you, like what we ran into last year, the teams who were getting ready to push on the food side, want to go play playoff. Big things on making sure that we had to backtrack for compliance issues for playoffs and playoff registration. Getting it done now and getting it done will make those, again, there inevitably will be those diving catches we gotta make, but it will make life a lot easier and better and simpler. If you just start getting these practices and processes in now, as we go on.
That's a really important point.
So, Dylan, why don't you run through the video?
Perfect.
Turn up the volume up.
Once you're into the match day app, you'll land on this page. This video will show you how to enter into the upcoming round. Once you're into the match day app, you'll land on this page. If you're the team admin of several teams at your club, you can select the appropriate team by clicking the drop-down box up the top. Please note down the bottom of the screen, if you're allocated by your club as a club admin and team admin through Rugby Explorer, you'll see squad lists. If you're only allocated as a team admin through the Rugby Explorer portal, you will not see squad lists. Otherwise, the main options on this page are team lists and match day scoring. It's now time to select your team for the upcoming game. Make sure you have the correct team selected up the top. Select team lists down the bottom left of the screen.
Hey, Dylan.
Select the
Is it?
Yeah.
Is your screen moving? 'Cause we're still seeing the
It is not now.
No, it's fine.
Okay, never mind, keep going.
Game that you would like to select a team for. You'll now land on this page. You can see that the previous week's team list is displayed. If you would like to reuse a team from last week, simply press submit. If you need to make changes to the team from last week, you can delete a player and add a new player. For this example, I'm going to start from scratch. So I'll click clear all. Okay. Now that I've selected manage players, I'll select the player. Okay, lead, select the position. Shirt number's correct. Click add.
Dylan, can you pause right there? So I think there's where you can change the jersey number. I think based on the competition, like you might be mandated 23 people, but you can have jersey number 27 or something. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Now select the second player. Continue to select players, ensuring they're in the correct position and the right shirt number. Make sure you click add once you're ready to add a player. I'd like to select Cyan as captain. Simply click captain, then add. Cyan isn't actually wearing shirt 8, so I can scroll down, change the shirt number. Now it's time to select team officials. Click manage team officials. Select a role, coach, and Ashley's my coach. Click add. Select role, manager. Jasmine is my team manager. Click add. Scroll down the bottom, you can see the team that you've selected, including the coach and manager. Now time to submit your team. Press submit. The following screen will pop up. Please ensure all team admins click 1 hour. Your team has successfully been submitted and your team's ready to play. If you would like to view player ID cards, in the team list menu, select the game that you would like to view. Then click on the little icon that has the 2 people to the left of submit. Please note the personal details, date of birth, my rugby ID, position, shirt number, dispensation, and an emergency contact uploaded to their My account. Now that my teams have been selected and I've completed all ID checks, I'm now ready to score the game live.
Perfect. I think one really important thing to note that would make all of your lives a lot easier, whoever's controlling this, is just the fact that if you submit a roster the week before, they'll automatically be uploaded. Again, I don't know what the number is in terms of cutoff, but if you have a team, a 15 team comprised of 20 players, in theory, you could submit the same roster every single week and it would make your life a lot easier just in terms of not having to go through that process, click all the players and then making sure that they're uploaded. Again, that only falls into the category if your team has the amount of players that you're allowed to choose within the Matchday app. But that's just one little trick that would make your life a little bit easier when operating within the Matchday. Again, the next video is just regarding scoring, penalties, player minutes and substitutions. I've seen this be a little bit of an issue in the past, just in terms of some players not being properly substituted throughout the season. It came down to the point where it almost jeopardized some national play. So these items are really, really important, obviously just for documenting these things, but also again, just to ensure that all your players are accounted for and that everyone is being represented. And we'll play this next video.
And hang on just a second, Dylan. Just want to emphasize that point. You get to playoffs, if you don't have a playing record, you're not eligible. Then we have to reconstruct that somehow. It's not easy. Remember that once you get out of the league, I think it's the same for everybody. Once you get out of the league, there are playing requirements. How many matches you have to play for your team to be able to play in playoffs. The only record for that is this. So if you don't enter your substitutions, and you're counting one of those substitutions to be part of your playoff roster, you're screwed.
Perfect. And then we'll watch this video.
Scoring live on the Rugby Matchday app. Click Matchday down the bottom, select the correct game. I'm now scoring the game for Footscray v Powerhouse on June 29 at 8:30 a.m. Click on the match. You'll be prompted with a screen like this that shows you the matchday mode. There's two options. You can score for your own team or score for both teams. Ideally, there's someone scoring for each team, but sometimes it's necessary to score for both teams. For this example, I'll score for my own team. Click Score My Team. This is a screen you'll see to score the match live. The game has started. Click First Half, which will now appear in green. As you can see up the top of the screen, under 8:30 a.m, live is now flashing, which means you're now scoring the game live. Please note you won't be able to select any options unless you have got first half or second half in green. Jay Lee has just scored a try. Click the plus arrow next to try. There is the option to not enter in who scored the try. This facility can be used for those junior competitions that require teams to match numbers and potentially share players. If one of the shared players scores a try, you can skip allocating who scored the try, and it will be recorded as a team event. Select the name. Click Next. It's optional to enter the match time in which the event occurred. In this instance, it happened in the first minute. Click Confirm. Now Cyan has just scored a conversion. Click the plus arrow next to conversion. Select Cyan. Click Next and enter in a time if you would like. To make a substitution, select Movements. Jay Lee is coming off. Select Jay Lee. Austin Andrews coming on. Select Austin Andrews. Please note the player that is coming off will be displayed in red. The player coming on will be displayed in green. Click Next. You can select the match time in which the substitution occurred. 10 minutes. Confirm. As you can see, this is where you add any yellow cards, red cards, or blue cards. Simply click the plus arrow, what sort of infringement it was. Click Done. Ensure you select the right player. Click Next. Once again, enter in a match time. Same thing for red cards. Select the infringement. Click Done. Ensure you select the right player. Next. Once you submit a red card or blue card, the event will open up a case for your competition manager to review. Please ensure you click OK. Austin has just got a blue card. I'll click Blue Card Concussion. Next. Enter in the match time. As you can see, this will open up another case for your competition manager. Please note this player will need to be provided the head injury fact sheet and referral and return form today. Please ensure all club and team admins are following the correct blue card concussion procedures. To keep track of the game live, you can click on Feed. And as you can see, all the events throughout the game are shown here. If you have incorrectly entered in something throughout the game, this is where you remove it. Click on the red sign and press OK. On the far right of the screen, you can keep track of cards. On the top right corner of the screen, you can see 3 white dots. If you click on these dots, this is where you can edit your team list, even though the game has started, call uncontested scrums, dispute the match, or enter in a forfeit. Little Freddie has just rocked up late and I hadn't added him to my team list. Fortunately, I can head to the top right of the screen and click on the 3 white dots, click Team List, Manage Players, search for Freddie's name. Select his position and ensure he has the right shirt number. Click Add. Now that he's been added to the team list, I need to resubmit the team. Click Submit. And of course, 1 hour. Freddie's now on the team list. If I go back to match day, click on the match, I'm still scoring. I'm still scoring for my own team. Select which half. I'm still in the first half, so I'll click first half. As you'll see, it's turned green. Please note I haven't lost anything from my scoring. Everything is still saved in the system. The referee has just called half time. So I'll click second half, confirm that the score is 0-5, click OK. I'm now ready to score the second half. The referee has just called full time. Please ensure you do not click end until you've confirmed all scoring, movements, and cards with the referee and opposing team manager. You can still edit or add any scoring, movements, or cards before you click end. Once you click end and confirm, the game can no longer be edited and the game has been submitted to your competition manager. Should there be any issues with the match that just took place, dispute the match by heading to the top right of the screen, clicking on the 3 white dots, hit dispute match. In this instance, I'm disputing something against Footscray under 10s. My reason is the scoring. Please provide some detail to your competition managers to follow up and then click confirm. Should you have any other issues with the competition match that just took place, please get in contact with your competition manager. Now that your team admin duties are complete for this match, please enjoy the rest of your...
Go to your head office, right, whoever that individual is, and then you would address or take action on necessary.
Perfect.
Individual, like for your own team, and at the very end, it's like there was like 0-5, but you were just going for your team, but the other team maybe had 15. You need to add at the very end that that other empty box was 15. So technically it was 15-5. You didn't fill in their details, or you just leave it 0-5, and when they score their half, then they fill in.
So you're going to score, it'll ask you, are you scoring for one team, the other team, or are you scoring for both? Obviously that's something we discuss with the other team. If you're scoring for both, it'll give you the options to do both scored and both teams for the game, and if you're just scoring for, you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, but like in this example, he was scoring just for his team, but it still topped off like 0 on the one side and 5, and that's,
I think it was just for the game.
that's fine.
Yeah, like if they're not, I guess, you decide that you're both going to score for your respective teams, and that scorekeeper on the other team
It's gonna show up
doesn't
correctly.
do their job. Like, if they don't do their job, what happens?
Is it live update? Like if they put 7 on for their
Yes,
team, it
will-
shows up
it
as
will
always
live
7 on.
update. The only thing that I would say is kind of iffy that we're kind of working on with ours is the time. It doesn't show you the time, so you have to keep track if you want to put in what event things happen. You'll have to look at it yourself. But other than that, everything else is live. So like as soon as the other team enters something, it should show up on yours as well. If the other team just messes up and they don't enter anything, that'll be your competition manager's job to go in and fix it. Because once the scores are submitted and everything is submitted, we can't change it.
So, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, to clarify, does that mean both school teams need to be like kind of submitting it at the same time for it to happen? Because I know for, especially last year when this was all new, there was sometimes that like we were still trying to get used to the system, so somebody would write it down on paper, and then we had 48 hours to submit it, so we would score our own teams, but then maybe like I submitted it, like one team submitted it right after the game, and we submitted it, like 3 hours after the game when I like sent out it. And the end result, like you'd already, but like I feel like it at least with you guys at least once, like it ended up showing like you guys had 0 when you did not, but I didn't need to. I think I put it in, so I don't know. I know I had issues with it last time when I was still scoring my team, but
So we're asking this year that every team have a team admin who's doing live scoring during the match. And we can have that completed at the end of the match. We also, Dylan, maybe you could speak to, we had some difficulties where one team closed the match, and then we had to get you to unlock it. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, exactly. So obviously if there are any issues that do arise just in terms of scoring, in terms of maybe just different depictions of what the score was like, or someone submitted it and it was 30-0 when in reality it was 30-20 or whatever the case may be, we're always able to go back in and change those items. Again, Rick, I'm not sure what the process looks like just in terms of validating that with either like the referees or both clubs come forward and say, yes, that was the correct score. Please change it to that. But yes, there is an opportunity to change those scores once they've been submitted by the team admins from the Matchday app.
But in some of our instructions to our teams, we want each team to have somebody assigned to do live scoring during the match. And I suspect that we maybe ask them to not close the match until some hour later or something.
It's a great idea to have someone live scoring. You might be on an away game where you show up with 15 players and a coach. There's situations where you physically can't do that. I think we should just all agree, NCRFU rule, ref, team admin, coach from both sides, get together right after the game, review the feed, and then you can all dispute and submit at that point.
Should be reviewed like outside of anything.
Yeah, that's actually what we did the last time we ran a full event when we were testing the system, because sometimes the refs will catch things that maybe the person who's an admin. Sometimes it's a parent, you never know who's gonna be able to do it, so it is good to just have.
And that's when you can check if you have,
That's a great suggestion.
if you have a player wearing 17, but they're actually listed as 20, then you can actually go to the ref who might have it written down as 17, that I actually know it's 20 in the system and everyone gets to clear it.
And then until that little confab happens, nobody closes this game. You got that, Ahmed?
Yep.
I think that was like a mistake.
Well, because like we've had a game where it was Amazon that had like 50 to 4, and you guys came in, it's like, it was 50 to 4, and we're like, actually, you guys have like 67 to 4, so they had actually shorted themselves points on it, even though technically they were the home team.
You have to sort that out, but each team needs to do their own, because they know who their players are.
That's a good idea.
Right, the refs paying attention to those anyway.
Where NorCal's doing just the home team, just the home team's responsibility to make sure to do the score. You should still meet after every game to make sure that the score is correct. But the home team's responsibility is to submit it. If the home team doesn't submit it, they're going to dock points.
Yes, I was just, the process we see is soccer. Soccer is so buttoned up and ridiculous. It's home team responsible. Everybody
If it's soccer, you only have to do like 2 entries.
I know, but the one thing I'll give the soccer is their process. They're so goddamn process, which is good. We need that. So if it's very clear in black and white, and make it simple for us to follow. And if you got to change the process, change it. Like what you said, let's make that the universal rule so everybody knows.
We're doing that in NorCal because we just tested the double, both teams scoring in our sevens league this year, and it's just there's too many people, and then everyone has different technological aptitudes. So we're giving one individual the responsibility to.
Nate, I'll guess on the adult rugby side, if I remember correctly from my days, we always knew where to go to have a party afterwards. Yeah. So at least we can understand, like, all right, who's at least with the game. Yeah, really clear.
Lunchtime, Nate?
I have a question about the admin roles. So there's a difference between team admin and club admin?
Yeah, and so so the club, picture this, the club admin is the individual that's like bringing over the whole club. So let's say you have, I'm just talking youth, right? You have U10, U12, middle school, high school, JV varsity, right? So that person's going to be your admin for the entire club, right? The team admin is the individual that's managing a certain team, let's say U10, right? Let's say varsity. Right, so that individual is going to be the one that's going to have access to the roster as a be able to score games and all that. Club admin cannot score games if they don't have team admin access, right? Team admin can't add anybody to a certain team because that's the club admin.
How does the club admin make a team admin?
So the club admin goes in, finds the coach as they're registered to that specific club, and then gives that coach team admin access.
Does it have to be the coach or can it be anybody?
It could be anyone that you have deemed to be a team admin as long as they have their accreditations complete.
What accreditations are you looking for?
Same thing as the coaches, right?
Okay.
So background check, really, safe sport, it's because you're dealing with children.
Okay,
Yeah.
so rugby basics and safe sport sufficient and fingerprinting with live scan sufficient, or does there need to be a level 1 coach cert?
Does not need to be a level 1 coach cert for the team admin role. They just need to be registered as an admin.
Does the team admin role actually have access to things, or do they just
Yes.
report stuff?
just the team admin responsibilities, which is rugby match day.
They can't be added to any of the commissions if they're not registered.
You guys are seeing the pyramid now, it's coming down.
And I'm on every level.
Yeah, so
I was about to say, club admin can be team admin.
club admin can't be team admin. Yeah, so like I'm a zero admin, I'm a club admin, and I'm a team admin. Like everyone, like you can be multiple things, and it's all through one window, which is great, right? Because it used to be like, you know, in the past, we don't talk about stuff, but there's like different ones, right? That have different emails and everything. This one, your one account can have access to a lot of different things. You just have to get permission set out by your zero, your club, or however.
If we're doing the home team is responsible for scoring and the home team submits a score and the away team's like, no, that wasn't the score.
You can still go in and dispute.
You can dispute
For sure.
afterwards.
For sure, yeah, so same thing, same dispute process, you go in, click the 3 dots in the top right corner, click dispute, reason, and then it gets sent in, right? So same exact thing, totally fine. And then your GA, your governing body will address it with the parties up to you.
So if you're the home team that's scoring and you're keeping track of the visiting team score as well, will their roster be right there for you to choose like 12 score?
So, yeah, correct, so they should, for NorCal, yeah, so for NorCal, there will have to be a roster for NorCal, because if there is no roster submitted, then the game is brought into disrepute, right? And that game could be forfeited, right? And we'll talk about this in the game management side of it, but there will be emails that come out that focus on the fields and managing about roster submissions and when they're due. And so you'll be able to see everyone out there. You will want to confirm if the numbers are correct in the middle of the game. You will want to confirm that, you know, maybe at halftime or at the end of the game, you've got the right people down, because the red cards will get sent to me, and that's how I, hand out sanctions. So I want to confirm that those people are good.
I got questions about junior youth. So, one thing, a lot of clubs don't have jerseys that have numbers for junior youth. So figuring out exactly who's score may be a question.
You talking U10, U12 middle school?
At least U10, U12. And then there's a separate question for middle school.
Yeah, U10, U12, we're not going to be using rugby match day much for U10, U12. We're not going to be really even forcing it that way. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to be managing the roster situation, right? Because I don't think it's really reasonable at the U10, U12 level we don't really care about score. We all know that.
We don't really care about scoring, but I do want to make sure that every kid that's on that pitch is sipped.
Exactly, and so that's what we're working with right now. But there's going to be something that we're going to set up. Not really time for that conversation, but we'll get into it. We'll work on a solution.
Should we take a break?
Yeah.
Dylan, thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan.
Focus on football. How long is this break? 15 minutes? Yeah, 5.
So we
Hey, we're behind schedule, that's why I say 5.
Yeah,
But whatever you do.
we're the next. So we covered a lot of what we spoke about here, like in the game management, Ahmed, what you say. Like we kind of hit a lot of the things of our next thing's going to be. So let's
Tyler, how do I make you host?
let's take 15.
I'm gonna say good.
We can try and see if lunch is still available. I think it closed at 1:30, and then if not, I think there's a cafe up around.
Are you gonna take the host back? I can't figure out.
I'm just gonna end the meeting. I'm gonna end the meeting.
Perfect. All right, Tyler, I'll see you later. Call me if you need help with anything.
See you guys.
Bye.